Live from the Scripps Studios, this is 10 News.
The impeachment of President Trump is now officially in the hands of the Senate, setting the stage for only the third trial to remove a president in American history. Good evening. I'm Steve Atkinson.
And I'm Lindsay Pena. Today on Capitol Hill, every senator stood with their arm raised, promising impartial justice and signing a pledge to do the same. ABC's Serena Marshall is in Washington with a look at what's next.
The Chief Justice of the United States arriving on Capitol Hill, taking an oath.
I do.
And a second job as the presiding officer of the impeachment of President Trump.
Do you solemnly swear?
His first act, swearing in the Senate to act as jurors in the trial.
So help you God.
Earlier Thursday, the U.S. Senate sat silent, listening at their desks. The articles read aloud by Chairman Adam Schiff, leading the team of 7 lawmakers that will prosecute the case.
Donald J. Trump has abused the powers of the presidency.
The president's legal team expected to be led by White House counsel Pat Cipollone and the president's personal attorney Jay Sekulow. The president maintains he did nothing illegal.
It's a hoax. Everybody knows that. It's a complete hoax.
But earlier Thursday, the nonpartisan government watchdog telling the administration the withholding of military aid to Ukraine broke the law, and the budget office was not permitted under law to withhold funds for policy reasons. The OMB disagrees. But the finding on the heels of new evidence provided to House investigators by Lev Parnas, an indicted associate of Rudy Giuliani's, who alleged President Trump, Vice President Pence, and Attorney General William Barr were tied directly to the pressure campaign against Ukraine. Statements from the White House and VP's office discredited Parnas, while Attorney General Barr's team called the accusations 100% false. The trial getting underway on Tuesday, but one outstanding question: will new evidence and witnesses be presented in the Senate?
The Senate trial is expected to last roughly 2 to 3 weeks, but that could change if they decide to hear from key witnesses. And all it would take to make that happen is a simple majority vote, 51 senators, which means only 4 Republicans would have to cross party lines and vote with Democrats. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
You can follow any developments in that trial by downloading our free mobile app. Just go to the App Store and search 10 News.
The Senate has also overwhelmingly approved the new North American Trade Pact that rewrites the rules of trade with Canada and Mexico. NAFTA tore down most trade barriers and triggered a surge in trade. But President Trump and others critics, they blamed NAFTA for encouraging U.S. companies to move their manufacturing plants south of the border to take advantage of low-wage laborers. The measure now goes to President Trump for his signature. As a result, stocks closed at record highs. The Dow Jones gained 267 points to close at 29,297. The Nasdaq rose 98 points and the S&P went up 27.
New at 5, a scathing new report just delivered to the city of Poway over the precautionary boil water advisory that crippled the city last month. The State Water Resources Board says it will fine Poway an amount to be determined. 10 News reporter John Horn is live in Poway. And John, the city will also have to take corrective action.
And that schedule is laid out in this 56-page citation. The cover letter, by the way, it rips the city apart, not just for letting this happen, but also ripping officials for apparently downplaying the severity of the situation in television interviews.
I think we have the best wings in town, and a lot of other people say that.
Mike Pazulka is back to touting his favorite dishes at Players Sports Grill in the heart of Poway. But it was just over a month ago that he wasn't able to serve anything at all.
You get a notice immediately on a Saturday night, and you have to kick everybody out and close your doors.
Players and restaurants across Poway shut down for a week after stormwater infiltrated Poway's drinking water delivery system. Brownish water started coming out of faucets, leading to a precautionary boil water advisory that lasted about a week.
Yeah, it was a little hit.
Pazulka estimates he lost $25,000 of business and now plans to file a claim against the city to get that money back. Now, the State Water Resources Control Board coming down hard on the city of Poway this week. In a letter to the city, it calls Poway out for failing to provide, quote, pure, wholesome, healthful, and potable water by delivering storm drain water to customers, and for some televised statements appearing to question the need for the boil water advisory at all.
It's a pretty scathing violation.
Poway attorney Natasha Serino is now representing 5 restaurants in claims against the city for loss of business.
And I'm a longtime Poway resident, so it's very personal for me. But I think the goal here is for businesses that were affected, is to try and make them whole.
And the city will get the dollar amount of that citation in August. It'll be based off the State Water Board's hourly rate, which, by the way, was $180 last year. Now, in a statement, the city says it's analyzing the information on the citation and evaluating its options. For now, live in Poway, John Horn, 10 News.
Thank you, John. And here's a look at some of the deadlines the city of Poway was given to fix those problems. Effective immediately, the city must submit dead-end records at the end of each week. By February 14th, Poway must submit a comprehensive reservoir inspection program for review and approval. And by August 31st, the city must submit a preliminary engineering report that evaluates design options.
A Popular Point Loma cafe is out of business after getting busted for hiring undocumented workers. Customers have been arriving all day, shocked to find Company at Liberty Station closed after 20 years. In a post on the cafe's Facebook page, the owner said that they were audited by immigration authorities. The disruption to their workforce forced them to close as a result. People have been leaving flowers and messages of support at the door.
Growing up as a kid, even when they were down further on Rosecrans, my family and I would go here every Sunday after church. It was kind of a tradition in our family.
10 News checked with ICE. A spokesperson said they won't comment on specific audits. They did say they are stepping up enforcement on businesses hiring undocumented workers. Nearly 400,000 Californians could lose access to food stamps under new changes by the Trump administration. And today, 14 states, including California, filed a lawsuit trying to block those changes from kicking in. Our 10 News anchor Derek Stahl explains the impact here in San Diego.
I go from anywhere from demolition to flooring.
Christian Ventura says he's trying to find as much work as he can, but with his criminal record, he relies on food stamps to make ends meet.
So I would cut it down to like 1 or 2 meals a day, if that, you know. Sometimes I wouldn't, I would just drink some water or something, you know.
As an able-bodied adult with no kids, Ventura is among the 26,000 San Diegans subject to new rules on work requirements scheduled to begin in April. To continue getting food stamps, he'll have to show he's working at least 20 hours a week. A challenge, he says, because he works for a temp agency.
Sometimes we only work like maybe once or twice a week. And it's like, if that, you know, so like, it's just kind of hard. It's up and down, you know.
These are taxpayer dollars. President Trump takes that very seriously. And every dollar that's given to somebody who is not, who does not qualify, you know, somebody who is able-bodied, is taking resources away from the people who actually truly need it.
Vince Hall of Feeding San Diego says the cost of verifying people's work requirements will likely exceed the food stamps themselves, which average about $140 a month.
Hunger is not going to motivate people who are already highly motivated, but it is going to disable their ability to find good productive jobs, to engage in meaningful job training programs. Hunger is debilitating, not empowering.
As for Christian Ventura,
I want to stay off the streets. I want to stay out of doing stuff that I used to do.
He says if he loses his food stamps, he could lose his freedom.
And I'll probably end up going back to prison.
Derek Stahl, 10 News.
The multi-state lawsuit claims the Trump administration did not follow proper procedures and is undermining the original goal of the food stamp program to alleviate hunger. The Trump administration says the change would save about $5.5 billion over 5 years.
A former La Jolla County day teacher will stand trial on 3 felony counts. Jonathan Sammartino is accused of having a sexual relationship with his 17-year-old student between April and September of 2016. Today, a judge denied a defense motion to reduce his felony charges to misdemeanors. Sammartino's attorney argues his client was unable to make reasonable decisions following a bike accident that placed him in a coma. If convicted, Sammartino faces up to 4 years and 4 months in state prison.
The standoff is over after a man was accused of pulling a gun on a process server trying to serve a lawsuit. 10 News was there as police put him into a squad car in Pacific Beach. We also talked with the process server. He said he tried to serve the man papers legally. The man said the server had the wrong guy, then pulled a gun. The process server walked away and called police. At first, the man refused to come out. He eventually did give up. Luckily, no one was hurt. Now, in a strange twist, the man was right. The process server did have the wrong guy. Police tell 10 News the man could face a gun charge.
It is time to take a look at our weather now. A storm actually approaching San Diego County could bring some light showers tonight into tomorrow. Our
meteorologist Angelica Campos is tracking the wet weather that's headed our way.
Yeah, we've heard from some of our viewers saying things like they're glad it's not a major winter system. It's just pretty much a cold front. The bulk of this storm system is actually going to stay to the north, and you can already see that front making its way close to LA, but it's slowing down. And as it continues moving south, it's going to continue losing intensity or strength because of all that friction it has to get through the Sierras and the mountains. And by the time it gets here, it's really going to be running out of steam. What it does bring is gusty winds and the potential for damaging winds at times, especially tonight after 7 p.m. through 4 o'clock in the morning. In our mountains, wind gusts could reach speeds of up to 55 miles per hour. So far, pretty quiet around the county. Gusty in Julian, 21 mile per hour winds right now and becoming windier overnight.
Angelica, thank you. We have new information about a major discovery at UCSD that could help stop the spread of tropical diseases like dengue. A team published their findings today, detailing how they were able to genetically modify mosquitoes.
10 News reporter Matt Boone spoke to one of the lead researchers about how they were able to make that breakthrough.
While working at a research lab at UCSD, PhD student Stephanie Gomez heard about something interesting.
The cool thing about the antibody was that it was originally from a human who was infected.
Not only that, it defended against all 4 types of the virus.
No one has created such a tool that could target all 4 types.
The question was, how could you use that antibody to stop other people from getting dengue? The answer was in mosquitoes.
When a female mosquito bites an infected person, they take up the virus and they incubate the virus.
Gomez and her team under Professor Omar Akbari found a way to genetically modify the mosquitoes to stop that incubation, making them unable to carry the virus.
It expresses these antibodies that recognize the virus and target it and prevents it from being transmitted.
If successfully implemented at a large scale, the technology could have huge implications for saving lives in Asia and South America, where dengue is a leading cause of illness and death, especially for children.
This is a great step for public health.
It could also serve as the framework for stopping the spread of other mosquito-borne illnesses like Zika, if they can find the right antibody first.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're excited about it.
Oh yeah, this is why I'm here.
In La Jolla, Matt Boone, 10 News.
Each year, up to 400 million people are infected with dengue. According to the CDC, 22,000 people end up dying.